Hello and welcome to the Galeblade News. Three senior executives at game maker Ubisoft have stepped down amid an investigation into sexual misconduct. The French company's chief creative officer, Canadian studios head, and global HR chief had all left their roles, Ubisoft said. Ubisoft is a major player in the games industry, best known for the Assassin's Creed franchise. The resignations came just before its annual showcase of new games, which made no mention of the allegations. In a tweet ahead of the event, Ubisoft said, "Because all of the content has been pre-recorded, we wanted to recognise that the issues we're currently dealing with won't be addressed directly in the show." The company has already seen one of its most senior executives depart and another placed on administrative leave. Many of the allegations have been made anonymously online, with a particular focus on the company's Canadian studios. Ubisoft has not publicly made any specific allegations against its own staff, as its investigation continues. But both French media and the gaming press have published allegations. The company ignored complaints of sexual misconduct and had a culture of harassment, sometimes fueled by alcohol consumption at company events. Ubisoft said the latest three executives to step down are a part of the comprehensive work in the company is doing to improve and strengthen its workplace culture. Chief Creative Officer Sergei Haskowet has chosen to resign from his position with immediate effect, the company said. Mr. Haskowet was widely seen as a key figure in the company, with games journalist Jason Schreier calling him the most powerful creative force with the power to single-handedly greenlight or cancel a project. Canadian Studios Managing Director Yanis Malat is also leaving the company immediately. The recent allegations that have come to light in Canada against multiple employees made it impossible for him to continue in his position, Ubisoft said. And global head of HR Cecilie Cornett has decided to step down from this role, as she believes it is the best interest of the company's unity. As part of its internal investigation, Ubisoft is bringing in an external consultancy to audit its HR process. Ubisoft's chief executive and co-founder Yves Guillemot said the company had fallen short of its responsibility to employees. "This is unacceptable, as toxic behaviours are in direct contrast to values on which I have never compromised," he said. Mr. Guillemot is also taking over Mr. Haskowet's creative leadership role and promises a complete overhaul of the way in which the creative teams collaborate. A week earlier, Ubisoft Vice President Maxime Belland resigned from his role amid allegations of misconduct. Ubisoft said at the time it was continuing to investigate allegations against Mr. Belland, and another Vice President, Tommy Francois, have been placed on leave. It comes as the wider gaming community deals with allegations of sexual harassment or misconduct. Last month, Twitch dealt with a wave of complaints against popular streamers on its platform, while the fighting game community saw an outpouring of allegations of inappropriate behaviour by well-known figures. So what do you think of this piece of news? For me, I consider this to be, this is the right direction they're going with. They don't want the brand to be damaged, and so the only way to kind of deal with these people is to have an investigation to find out actually what happened, how it was allowed to happen, and what the culture is within the organisation itself. It being one of the biggest kind of gaming firms means that it will have offices in various cities, some of the more popular cities within various countries, and that means actually it's a lot more difficult to control. Think of it this way. When a company has to make redundancies, it's a lot easier for them if they're a smaller company to find out who is, more valuable and who's been less trouble, than to have to go through the process of actually having to go through mass numbers of employees. Also, the risk tends to be that you've got probably younger, impressionable employees as well, who have just kind of got themselves into broken themselves into the gaming industry, maybe through internships, maybe through just graduate schemes. But it's a very competitive industry. It's not something that you can instantly get into. You kind of have to know the people. You need to kind of break into the market, and you need to have a certain level of skill before you're even considered worthy. It's highly competitive. You're competing against various universities, various people around the world, and it being a truly global environment means that actually trying to get yourself into your foot in the door is often incredibly difficult, and there are certain things you might have to do, which you might not want to do, to push yourself to have that little bit extra advantage. This is kind of how I feel. Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.